everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Nobody's Happy podcast, the official podcast of the FMHF, or Feminist Forgiving Mean Head Foundation. Remember, ladies, putting men in their place doesn't just mean being annoying. It's also about being as good as you can possibly be. So there you go. Good job, ladies. Speaking of feminists, I went to go see some MMA fights. I went to go see some MMA fights this weekend. Oh man, that was so good. Oh, also before I get started, y'all check out the Willful Ignorance podcast. The Willful Ignorance podcast is the podcast that I've been doing with my friends for a while now. I think we used to call it, when we first started, like back in 2010, or when we started doing the podcast was about 2 years later, like maybe 2012, maybe even 2011. But we used to call it bootleg. And we've actually shared some of the the audio for that with each other. Oh my God, dude. Some of the stuff that we said on that thing, appropriately called the bootleg podcast, because it was just ratchet, dude. We would say some fucking awful things on that, where we've sent the audios to each other, and we were like, dude, you need to get rid of this right now. You need to destroy this audio if we're ever even gonna make any kind of significant money in this business, because this will doom all of us. Not just when we were saying whatever we're saying, but the rest of us by association. I mean, it was all in jest, right? But I remember we used to get like just torture drunk, like just babbling towards the end of it, man. And this is after already being at a show or at an open mic and drinking there. And then after that, we'd go, let's go podcast. And we'd start podcasting like at 11 or 12 at night. And wouldn't be done till like 2 or 4 in the morning. Oh, my God. But anyway, that doesn't exist anymore. Now we have this this other podcast called Willful Ignorance, which we've been doing for a couple of years now. Well, the guys, when I was in New York, the guys kept on doing it, and while I was out, they just kept going with it. But now that I'm back, we're doing it again. It's up to episode 144 now. We just had our friend Zach Dixon, who was on it, man. You want to check out like an hour and a half of just hilarious stupidity. Check out Willful Ignorance, episode 144 that just came out. I'll see if I can tag it on this fucking thing. When right before I put it up, I'll put it in either in the description or or I'll put it as a comment or something. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. Speaking of our friend Zach Dixon and George, they went. We went together, and one of George's family members. We went to go see live MMA fights. We went to go see Fury FC, which apparently was getting live streamed on UFC Fight Pass. I thought these were going to be like just straight up amateur, but these are like professional fights. They're just in a lesser known league, you know, like almost like the minor leagues of MMA. And I'll tell you, man, some of these kids, they're like fucking ferocious, you know, and they look the part. I remember when MMA first started, if you went to see a non-UFC MMA fight, it was, or at least from the video that I've seen, I hadn't gone to one. This is the first one that I've ever been to this past Sunday, live, to see one live. I'll show you this picture of this picture that I'm looking at right now. This is them in full action mode. Action Jackson. Yeah, and the way it looks here, it's honestly, this picture looks like it looks farther than what it really was. I swear to you, where we were on these balcony seats that you see on the opposite end. On our side, there was we were up there, and it felt like you were so close, like you could wad up a piece of paper and hit one of the fighters in the head. Like that's how close it was. The the audience was into it, man. It was so cool. I'd never seen I've never seen an actual live MMA, professional fighting thing. This was my first time, and it was everything that I could have hoped it was. One, we had amazing seats. They weren't cheap, but they weren't like stupid expensive either. They were like it was like a table of four up here. Was $400. So it's basically $100 a piece. And I know some people might not even think that's a lot of money. They just might think that's a lot of money to go see a fight. I'm telling you, dude, if you were there, you'd be like, it was worth every fucking penny, dude. I saw a flying knee knockout, dude. I saw a guy get knocked out, fucking looking like he got shot, like just instantly went down, like one of those walkers that get shot in The Walking Dead. Like when what is it, Rita's? What is his name on the show? I can't believe I'm blanking out. I know his real name, but I don't. Daryl. He got that crossbow. Every time he shoots him with a crossbow, you know how they just like immediately they drop down. That's what that dude. It looked like Daryl shot him with a crossbow in the fucking forehead. Like as soon as that dude's knee touched his face, he was fucking down. And I remember one of our buddies was supposed to fight, man. And there ended up being a couple of other comics there. And one of the main reasons why we ended up going was because one of the guys that was gonna fight on that night was a guy that does comedy too. Like he Governal. He was supposed to be on the on the fight card, and on the day of, George calls me. He's like, dude, Governor said he's not gonna fight on the thing, dude. I was like, what? This is the whole reason we're going. We want to go support our buddy, Like, yeah, he does. We consider him like a comic, He does comedy, but. We find out, you play music or something, and it's like any other co-worker situation, Like you find out your friend does comedy, and you're like, oh shit, let me check out one of your comedy shows then, man. Well, it was like that for us with him. Like, holy shit, dude, you do MMA? Well, he was also a Marine sniper, dude. Like, this dude is no joke. He's even shorter than me, but you could tell by looking at him, dude. He is thickums, as my sister said. He's a thick kid, man, and you could tell he's he's a dude that fights. He's got the whole cauliflower ears and everything. But he's a good dude, man. He's a really nice kid. And he's a ferocious killer through and through, man. On top of being a nice kid, so we were gonna go watch him, but the dude that he was fighting didn't make weight. In fact, he missed weight by like 13 pounds. It was something stupid where it didn't seem like the kid even tried to make weight. And you know what ended up happening? Like this is how I know that the fight game is so fucking brutal and fucked up, man. Because this is also money on the promoter's part, because they were able to find somebody that was almost as heavy as the guy that missed weight. That guy got to fight, and my friend Governor, who made weight, he didn't get to fight. So it's basically like he still gets his show money for making weight and being ready. but he's losing out on the other half, had he won. And he seemed like he was very confident in winning. And I thought, just by knowing that, I was like, oh, dude, you would have smoked this dude. You would have smoked this dude. And I think what this dirtbag did was he realized he was not going to make weight. And he was like, he probably thought I could end up getting a fight if I just, I can get a fight in another weight class, but I won't be depleted. And I won't have to fight somebody on even ground, And yeah, I mean the dude got rewarded for it. What a dirtbag. I got to be honest with you, and I feel very ashamed about this, but we were all gonna boo this guy, and we did. We booed this guy because he got to fight in the co-main event, which was supposed to be my buddy's fight. He was supposed to be the co-main event against this dude, but instead, because that other guy didn't make weight, they found him somebody his size and just put him in the co-main event anyway. So, and the dude came out and we all booed him. We were like, boo, boo. And that's all I remember, man. Yeah, I drank. Dude, here's what happened. Friday, my girl left for Alaska, right? My girl left for Alaska to do this one of these she loves nature stuff and she's just a good human being all around and likes important things like the environment and animals and nature and all that shit. And she's just been, the opportunity came, 'cause she's done stuff for National Geographic. And because of that, the affiliates of National Geographic afforded her this opportunity to go up there and basically just do her own I don't think you call it research, but it was it's definitely educational and also fun if you like outdoor shit. I'm not 100% with the whole thing, and more than anything, I have an idea, but I don't want to say because I'm not really sure of how it works. But anyway, point is, she was leaving in Alaska on Saturday. Friday night we got just bombed, right? Wake up, Saturday we she packs, we get ready. I take her to the airport. As soon as I take her to the airport, I come back home. I start getting ready because that night on Saturday, I'm getting ready to do a show with my friend Edward. And sorry. Stupid sparkling waters are making me burp. Yeah, we had a show. I was on his show, and after we were done with the show, we went over to his place. We got hammered, drunk, dude, on tequila shots. That was always fun, right? Taking little shots of tequila. And I'm not really a big tequila guy, right? Which I know it's like the old stereotype, Mexicans, you gotta get into that tequila. I'm not. It's not that I don't like it. It's just not my preferred drink. But when somebody says, "Yo, let's take some shots of tequila," I'm like, "Let's fucking take some shots of tequila, man. Let's fucking do it." My shit is whiskey for sure. But I fucks with tequila. Yeah, we got trashed. I went home, got home, passed out. I wake up, it's like 10 Sunday, and then that's when we got Governal's fights. But I'm thinking his fights are going to be like around 6 at the earliest. Turns out these damn things are starting at like 2 or 2:30. And that's when my friend George called me. He was like, "Hey man, Governal's not gonna be on the fight." Yeah, did you see how I Tarantino that shit? I showed you the end first, and then I showed you the parts leading up to where we were. That was terrible. Dude, I got so trashed. There was this girl that was right next to us. There was other group, this table next to us. This girl just kept yelling. Like, ah, come on, get him. You've worked too hard for this. You've worked way too hard. You can do it. And she's just screaming obscenities, mind you. And all kinds of like motivational stuff too. Stuff that was like, I think if I heard that while I was fighting, I'd probably be, pretty amped up. Myself too. But yeah, it was a fun time, man. I had a blast. I'd never been to an MMA fight before. I highly recommend you guys go to one of these local. I don't know how those are. I don't know, maybe because San Antonio is a big city and they could do it. They can get enough people. I don't know where you live, but I'm sure they have stuff like this. This was like pretty legit. I mean, it was Fury FC. I'd heard the name before, and while we were on in there, the announcer guy was saying we're about to go live on Fight Pass in like 5 minutes or something like that. But yeah, apparently it was streamed live on Fight Pass, on the UFC Fight Pass. And some of these kids, man, I guess they're looking for a contract, which is why they were fighting so ferociously. We got to see a couple of knockouts, man. The T levels were through the roof in that fucking place too, man. I think that same chick that was yelling at the fighters to like motivational shit. She was talking shit to some guy. I don't remember how it happened, but as soon as we got there, all I heard was this chick. I don't know if you heard the cadence of a Mexican girl yelling, "Fucked up things. There's a lot of this, right? And a lot of inflection. And you say a lot of things that ain't like that." Right? That's when you know this is a drunk Mexican chick and she wants to fight somebody. Probably could get killed, but she wants to fight somebody. And I remember the dude walking away behind me, right? Because the table is off to the right of us. And I just remember hearing the guy as he's walking away, him going like, "Hey, bro, your chick's wild, dog. Your chick's wild, bro." And he just kept saying that, "Hey, your chick's wild, bro." Right? As she kept on barking all kinds of shit at him. And I don't know if it was like the guy trying to get a homie to fight him, but it felt to me like it was like if my girl was running her mouth at some dude, and the guy kept looking at me like, "Dude, your chick is wild, dog." Like, it's like he didn't want to insult his chick and start a fight, but he also wanted to let him know, like, it was almost like your chick's gonna get you in trouble, bro, kind of a thing. That's the way I look at it. I think if a dude says that to you while your chick is running her mouth, I think what he's saying is like, keep this chick in check, because she might get you all fucked up. But I don't think anybody wanted to do anything in that place. That place should be the most peaceful place ever, because as soon as I drove in there, dude, and I could just see MMA bodies everywhere. I was like, that dude fights. That guy that locked his keys in his car, he fights. You could just tell. They're bailed. The fucking, the tattoos that go with it. The beard that a lot of the times goes with it. The ears, the fucked up ass ears. Oh, it was great, man. I had a fucking blast. I highly recommend that you guys should check stuff like that out too. Even I want to go to a boxing one. I've been to a boxing one, but that one was definitely amateurs. Everybody had their headgear on and all that stuff. But I want to check out a boxing one next, man. Especially since I've been getting back into it and I've started getting back into boxing. Because, like I said, man, MMA really took over like what I had for football. MMA in the past like decade just slowly eased it out of the way and took over. And boxing kind of also took a back seat. But now I remember I used to go online and read the Ring magazine. Now, not anymore, but lately, within the past couple of months, in the past like maybe 4 to 6 months, I've been starting to get more into boxing. Certainly seeing some of those during the pandemic, those boxing matches that there'd be no crowd and you can hear the breath and the smack of when they throw the punch, like, and you just hear, right, like, bat, and you just see somebody crumble over, and you're like, oh God, or somebody gets hit, like right in the liver or the stomach, and you just hear, oof. It just amplifies what the action that you're watching, you know. It's really, I love combat sports, man. It really like made me think about discipline in a positive way, because I think I have this negative connotation with discipline from not negative connotation. It's not that I thought there was something negative about discipline, but discipline left a bad taste in my mouth, because from the army and from religion, like from the army, it was like discipline just meant this is really gonna suck. When somebody said, man, we're gonna have to be very disciplined, in my head all I knew was like, oh, this mission is gonna suck ass, dude. If they're already saying we're gonna have to be disciplined, that means we're in for a fucking ass kicking and a half. And in religion, discipline just meant like no cursing, no beating off, no. I grew up fundamentalist, no, not fundamentalist Christian, evangelical, Pentecostal. Yeah, and it's basically the most emotionally abusive. I'm kidding. I don't know. Some of you are probably into that stuff. No, I just felt like it was like the whole point of the religion was like you'll never be good enough for Jesus, so you should always feel like a piece of shit. And yeah, so what MMA and combat sports in general do to discipline for me is they put it in a more positive way. You know, like discipline can be something that can be used to better yourself and better the people around you, or make things better for the people around you because of your discipline. One time I got this book by Jocko Willink called Discipline Equals Freedom. I left it in New York like a jackass. But yeah, it talked about that, like discipline equals freedom. It's basically when you're disciplined, it gives you freedom to do all kinds of other stuff. Now, I don't exactly believe all that stuff because I'm not disciplined. We're talking about a guy that gets up at 4:30 in the morning to go do push-ups. That's not me, bro. That's never gonna be me. I'm never gonna wake up 4:30. I'm never gonna have a six-pack ever. Again, I think I may have had one in Afghanistan and Iraq, but that's because I was so scrawny. And we would go out on 4-day missions. By the time I come back, man, it's like you burn all those you burn through all those calories, man. Those MREs. The reason those MREs have so many calories in them is because they know they're gonna fucking they're gonna put you through the fucking ringer. And your body's going to be demanding a lot from you. So, yeah, I guess that's why I love that shit. It's a good way to do things. Okay, I gotta do some. I got to do some reads from our sponsors. This episode of Nobody's Happy is brought to you by people who vote in a two-party system. Do you believe that professional wrestling is way too realistic? Are you easily aroused by racial qualifiers like the Latino vote or Black America? Well, then look no further for the sugary treat of feeling good for no good reason by voting in a two-party system. So put on your best MAGA or blue no matter who shirt and sashay down the runway of uselessness. Jettison the heavy cargo of common sense and critical thinking by laying on the bed of complacency. But wait, there's more. People who vote in a two-party system are not just limited to empty gestures and mind-numbing platitudes. Take an active role in the destruction of your country by disparaging not just third-party candidates, but also the very idea of having more options. That's right, you too can now drink from the sweet nectar of believing you're responsible while simultaneously giving the corporations the key to America's much-pounded asshole. People who vote in a two-party system. Because some citizens are meant to be the pimple on the inside of a nation's ass cheek. This episode is also brought to you by Rescue Dogs. Rescue Dogs are a fun and exciting way to add chores to an already fast-paced life that runs on the fuel of desperation. That's right. The irresponsible way to take on responsibility is no further than your local rescue shelter, aka Doggy Death Row. So, if you like excitement and you would love to play Russian roulette with the psychological trauma of a small creature, Rescue Dogs are for you. Fill your life with the confounded experience of adopting the equivalent of a child with ties to MS-13. Peer into the dark void of a creature whose past is as black as the 1,000-yard stare it directs out your living room window. Rescue Dogs. Because fuck it, that's why. I started watching The Walking Dead again. Holy shit, man. I love The Walking Dead. I had stopped watching. I think I'm on season 9. Apparently, they're on season 11. No, I stopped watching in season 8 or 7. I think it might have been 7. And then my niece is like really into it. And one day she was watching it, and I kind of watched a little bit of where I had left off. And I don't know. It just kind of, I was like, man, I was kind of getting into that. I could feel it. Yeah, and I went back to it like 2-3 episodes in, dude. It reminded me why I like The Walking Dead in the beginning. To begin with, it's because just the ruthlessness. They have the same ruthlessness, the writers, as the writers on Game of Thrones. You know how like a Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead are like, there are these shows where just because a character is likable or even lovable doesn't mean that they aren't susceptible to get their head cut off or catch one in the brain or get bit by a zombie, or get chewed up alive. And man, does it fucking hurt, dude. You feel it. You're like, are you serious? And part of you is like, please don't. Please be a dream or something. And it just gut wrenches you, man. But it makes you like, for some, it's the kind of stuff that makes you keep watching because you know that they're all the characters are in real danger. You know, they could all go at any moment. And it could happen like for no good fucking reason. You're just like, what the fuck? It pisses you off, but it also like, it makes you keep watching. I could see how some people get, cause I remember like after Glenn, spoiler alert, after Glenn died, I remember I got the will sapped out of me to even watch. And I was like, how do these guys even continue, man? I don't even want to continue because my friend Glenn is dead. Oh my God. It was so good, dude. I fucking loved it. And I'm watching it again. Especially now that my girl's gone, I don't got shit to do at night. I'll just sit there and watch it, and it's so much fun. You know what they do really good is in writing. It's like the bad guys, the quote unquote bad guys. They're not these two-dimensional scarecrows, right? Like it's just somebody being evil for the sake of being evil. You know, basically the way the way conservatives and liberals look at each other is like, oh, they're just evil because they're not us, so that means they're evil. Or at least some. I shouldn't generalize that way. I shouldn't generalize about their generalizing. No, it's they always, like, especially super evil guys. There's always something about their background, and not just in The Walking Dead. I'm talking about in any movie or story you hear. Any good bad guy has in their head a good reason to act the way they act, because that is how reality works, right? Like somebody that's gonna blow up blow themselves up in a train station. You know, in their head, they are doing the right thing, and everybody else is just indulging in the devil's cock. And to them, it's like, I have to blow myself up, because if I don't, more evil is gonna come. And as much as the United States goes to other countries and destroy them, I mean, in a way, destroy them. Well, those people that are fighting, you know, the soldiers, that 18-year-old kid doesn't believe he's part of an imperialist army that's being used by corporations and corrupt politicians. Just like myself, I believed I was doing the right thing. And if you change the definition to the right thing as like from you know, are you fighting for your country, to am I making sure that my guys are alive, then I was doing the right thing by making sure that my guys were alive, or trying to neutralize whatever cocksucker was shooting at us. You know, it's just people don't just get up one day and do evil shit, you know? It even Darth Vader, you know? Darth Vader, it was just a fear of losing everything that made him become such a cunt. And he just wanted to crush every opposition that could bring about more pain for him. Until eventually you just get lost in the game that you start playing, and you forget why you started playing the game. So now you start choking a motherfucker with your mind, because he looked at you funny. I find your lack of faith disturbing. I mean, he didn't start off choking motherfuckers with his index and thumb from far away. I'm sure he used it. You know how many times those officers must have just said something stupid, and he just sat there like, I could choke this motherfucker with my mind if I wanted to. And one of those days, it was like, not today, bro. Not, you know, I've been keeping quiet about this and just taking it. But today, I'm choking a motherfucker from far away. And he did. And it wasn't even when they blow up that planet. I think it was Leia's place, no? They blow up a planet. And Princess Leia's like, you promised you wouldn't. I think it's not even Darth Vader that gives the order, right? I think it's that Skeletor looking weirdo that that gives the order for them to destroy the and when I was a kid, I never even realized. I got so taken aback by Darth Vader's actually I didn't watch Star Wars because I'm from West Texas, and I just do something weird with the S's when I'm start talking. The fuck was I talking about? I didn't start watching I didn't watch Star Wars till I was in the Army. When my friend Espinoza, he was like, "You've never seen Star Wars, dude? I'm gonna give you the collection, and you have to watch them in chronological order, but not chronological in the time, chronological in the way the movies came out." Yeah, so I watched. But I knew about Star Wars, and before I knew the whole thing, I thought Darth Vader was the main bad guy. But it turns out he wasn't even the second in command. He was just like a thug. And that skeleton, the skinny old guy on the ship was in charge of him, and in charge of that guy was the Emperor. And in charge of the Emperor was the devil, I think. What was I talking about? Yeah, a good bad guy. That is a good bad guy. A bad guy that has a reason to be bad. And not only that, but not just a reason to be bad, but a reason to do the things that they do that you happen to take as bad. Because from their point of view, they don't see it as a bad thing. This is just, look, man, sometimes you got to do fucked up shit. Because if you don't, people are going to hurt you. That's their mentality, right? Which, by the way, that is something that you can really, in real life, get sucked into, man. I know it hasn't been like really harsh things, but I have noticed that there's times where I find it a little bit difficult to feel sympathy for little things. Like if somebody's dog died, and you know how much, dude. If our dog died, if Pax died, I'd probably cry, right? But when it happens to other people, I'm just like, well, it's your fucking dog, you know. I mean, I don't say it like that, but I'm like, damn, that sucks, man. But in my head, I'm like, so, are we going to Austin or what? Are we gonna go party or what? So, you want to go watch the fight or no? Now, and I guess it's just like when you're a sensitive or even if you're not a sensitive person, but if you get exposed to certain shit, man, there's gonna come a point where things are not gonna affect you the same way as other people. You know, like my girl and I, we would have these things when the whole pandemic started. She would be like, she was more, not so much worried about COVID, but worried about how little worried I was about COVID. And it wasn't that I didn't think it was real, or I didn't think it could hurt you or certainly kill people. It was just like I need to hear or see something, man. I can't just and even when I do see it, I calmly go like, okay, let's wear a mask because people are getting real fucking sick. Whether it works or not, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm an idiot. All right. If you told us, hey, y'all, the virus attacks people who don't wear their underwear inside out, I'd be like, well, shit, man, I gotta turn my underwear inside out. Oh, dude, that would have been me. I've been there. You gotta wear your underwear on the outside of your pants so that COVID doesn't hit you. I'd be like, well, shit, man, I'll wear two. Can never be too careful with this shit. By the way, don't let these fucking pieces of shit media cocksuckers try to make it seem like we gotta go back into Afghanistan. Suck a dick, dude. We're done with that fucking place. It's over. Forget about it. What about the Jeeps that I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Drop some bombs on it if you want. I don't give a shit. We're done. We're wasting fucking money. Jesus Christ, dude. The amount of money, and you think like, well, we gotta have the best stuff. We did. Most of the money wasn't even for the military. It was for Afghanistan, which AKA the most corrupt fucking human beings on the planet. The Afghan government is known as being ultra corrupt, dude. I'm talking like warlords. You understand? Warlords. Not even mobsters. Warlords. Mobsters have to hide from the police. Warlords are the police, the judge, the city council. They're everything. Well, the warlord is everything. That's why they call warlords. They're lords over war. She was a hoarder. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up a terrible note like that. Now, I just wanted to say, let's see, what do I got going on? I got, I'm on the Friday, September 10th. I'm gonna be Upstage Comedy Lounge here in San Antonio. It's my buddy Bobby Smith started a room here, and I'm gonna have the pleasure of headlining one of those nights on the first weekend. And I hope it goes well, man. I'm definitely gonna start preparing now. Start preparing a set. See how it goes. I just got a call from Pat Buckles from the Ha Festival. Yeah, they want to put me on the festival, even though they well, I thought they were supposed to invite you, but then they're so like, you didn't you didn't submit to the festival? I was like, huh? You submit to the festival? I go, well, in either case, we'll find a spot for you, and just send us a video of like a 6 to 8 minute set or some shit like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do like a 6 to 8 minute video set, and hopefully this Friday at the Blind Tiger, and then and show it to them and be like, you like it? You like it or not like it? Cause I can go fuck myself. Feel free to do the same. No, hopefully everything goes all right, and I would like to be part of the Ha Festival once again. It's good to get out. It's good to get out and do stuff. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for listening and for tuning in. I hope I can do more stuff in the future with this podcast, and maybe not just with the podcast, but also stuff on the channel. I'm still thinking, man. I'm still thinking. I'm trying to see what shit I can come up with, and maybe next week I'll start doing this thing again in Josh's studio, since we're back in the studio. We started doing the podcast again. And also remember to check out Willful Ignorance, episode 144 with Zach Dixon. Just if you want to try something new, Willful Ignorance is a podcast where the way we play around with each other is basically we take the worst interpretation of what you just said and run with it. Hence the name Willful Ignorance. It's just a way to just have fun and be stupid. And I think if you guys give it a shot, you'll definitely get to like it, man. Other than that, thank you guys. Y'all have a good evening. Bye. Or what was it? Morning, afternoon, or evening?